Welcome to Anything You Want, the place where we bring you the most intimate, urgent, and unmissable moments from the world of celebrity. Before we dive in, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, press the join button to support our work, smash the like, and leave a comment. Your voice shapes the next story we pursue. Now, the full report. In a scene that read like the closing chapter of a melodrama yet unfolded in real time beneath relentless camera lenses, Mert Ramazan Demir emerged from a period of deliberate silence to deliver a statement that has since ricocheted through tabloids, timelines, and dinner-table conversations. The actor's appearance was not staged as a perfunctory publicist-driven statement. Instead, it felt raw, fragile, and urgent, an unguarded human moment that forced observers to recalibrate what they thought they knew about his private life. Sources who were present and those who spoke later to reporters described a figure marked by exhaustion, by the weight of regret, and by an unmistakable determination to stake a claim to responsibility in a way that could reshape both his personal narrative and the public's perception of a relationship once thought concluded. To understand why those words landed with such force, one must consider the backdrop against which they were spoken. The couple's on-off romance had long been a favorite subject for entertainment pages, a passionate, sometimes stormy liaison that produced headlines as much for its intensity as for its abrupt coolings off. Industry insiders recall professional tensions that surfaced while the two shared screen time, fissures that, according to production whispers, carried over into off-camera interactions and ultimately contributed to a separation that many assumed to be final. For months after, both maintained guarded distances from one another publicly, posts were sparse, public-facing smiles were measured, and conversations that once felt effortless grew infrequent. And yet, human stories rarely conform to tidy timelines. What appeared as an ending in print and pixel was complicated by the possibility of a nascent life and the presence of unfinished sentiment. Mert's decision to speak, to lay bare regret, assert love, and pledge involvement, resurrected old attachments and birthed new conjectures. Those who witnessed the scene speak of an actor who, in one breath, acknowledged mistakes and, in the next, vowed accountability, a man who admitted his faults while insisting that absence would not be an acceptable response should a child be on the way. It was this duality, penitent yet resolute, that has kept the story breathing across every platform. Afra Saraçoğlu's response, or rather the conspicuous lack thereof, has become the other pillar around which discourse swirls. For now, the actress has chosen silence. No statement from her camp, no clarifying post, no public engagement that addresses the claims. Close acquaintances suggest that she is deliberately retreating, shielding herself from the predatory curiosity of the press and the often unforgiving glare of social media. Those intimates, speaking under the protective cloak of anonymity, emphasize that the matter is intensely private and that any immediate public reaction would neither be simple nor fair. In this context, silence is not necessarily avoidance. It can be a considered strategy to preserve emotional space while decisions are being formed in a life suddenly complicated by speculation. And speculate the public did. Almost immediately after Mert's words hit the airwaves, speculation about a pregnancy dominated trend lists and comment threads. The question, "Is Afra pregnant?" appeared in 1,000 permutations, shared and reshared, dissected and debated by followers who alternated between sympathy, skepticism, and appetite for drama. It is crucial to note that, despite the torrent of conjecture, no verified confirmation of pregnancy has been issued by Afra, her representatives, or an independent medical source. Yet in an age where rumor can solidify into perceived fact overnight, even the suggestion of a child altered the tone of the conversation. If true, the moral and public stakes would be elevated. if false, the very rumor would illustrate how vulnerable private lives have become to public appetite. Among those watching closely were colleagues on set and friends within their inner circles, many of whom reportedly witnessed the signs of strain before the public moment. Multiple informants told entertainment columnists that Mert had grown distant in recent weeks, skipping social events, missing rehearsals, and spending more time in solitary reflection than in social company. The image presented to friends was not of a man attempting a comeback by spectacle, but of someone grappling with interior turmoil and, ultimately, choosing to make his feelings a matter of record. Whether that record will persuade Afra, placate fans, or change private dynamics remains to be seen. Beyond polarized fan commentary, the episode has illuminated the broader mechanics of celebrity privacy, duty, and narrative control in the digital era. When intimate matters are thrust into public view, the subjects must navigate not only their personal reconciliation but also the legal, ethical, and PR-related consequences that accompany any assertion about parenthood and responsibility. Advisors on both sides will need to weigh statements carefully, mindful that words uttered in a moment of emotional intensity can later be used as evidence, reassurance, or headline fodder. In such circumstances, silence can function both as protection and as a stage upon which the absence of a response becomes a statement in its own right. For viewers who follow these lives closely, the unfolding drama invites deeper questions. Is this a genuine attempt to rebuild trust and co-parent responsibly, or is it the resurgence of a relationship that, for reasons once real and perhaps still unresolved, should remain closed? Will Afra speak and clarify, to herself, to the press, and to those who care, or will she continue to guard her privacy while the world theorizes? And, if a child is truly on the way, how will both parties navigate the intersection of public scrutiny and intimate family matters? We want to hear from you. In the comments below, share your perspective. Do you find Mert's vows credible and moving, or do you consider them the product of a dramatic, ephemeral moment? Are you inclined to respect Afra's silence as a personal boundary, or does it frustrate your desire for clarity? Additionally, because our channel thrives on your curiosity, tell us which Turkish celebrities you'd like to see covered next. Who should we investigate with the same rigor and empathy? Your suggestions guide our work. In the immediate term, all eyes remain trained on Afra Saraçoğlu, whether she will respond, how she will frame the truth, and whether the headlines will culminate in reconciliation, clarification, or continued ambiguity. For now, the narrative exists in a fragile interstice between public pronouncement and private resolution. Mert's tearful commitment has reopened a chapter. Afra's silence conserves a mystery. How this chapter ends, whether in the quiet intimacy of personal decision or in a public, dramatic reconciliation, will be determined by choices that belong first and foremost to the individuals involved. This story will be followed closely by Anything You Want. If there are verified updates, we will report them with attribution and respect for all parties. Until then, we ask you to keep the conversation civil. Remember that the subjects of these headlines are humans with histories, vulnerabilities, and rights to privacy. Tell us what you think below, recommend who you want next on our roster, and if you find value in our coverage, consider pressing that join button to help keep our reporting independent. Thank you for watching. This has been Anything You Want, where your curiosity meets careful reporting. Stay with us for the next installment. For now, we leave the final word to time and to the people at the center of the story.